And some workers are living the dream. More and more companies trying out a 4-day work week to boost morale.
Oh, that sounds nice, right? A shorter week could actually be more beneficial, though, than just improving workers' well-being. So joining us now, Washington Post reporter Allyson Chiu. Allyson, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, we would be really good if we were talking about a permanent 4-day work week here. I mean, you looked at several studies on this. How can working fewer hours lead to lower carbon emissions? That's an interesting connection.
Yeah, what's interesting is over the years, we studies have really documented an association between lower working hours and reduced carbon emissions. And there's some suggestion that that could be, linked to either reductions in commuting, changes in energy use, and even potentially more people adopting more sustainable lifestyles.
Well, other countries in Europe have already adopted the shorter work week. So how has that impacted carbon emissions overseas?
That's actually, the research has looked at some of those countries and compared them to the U.S. And there has been a noticeable difference in the amount of emissions that those countries put out compared to us.
So, I mean, would people use more energy if they had more time off? I mean, we're kind of buzzing around, we're doing all sorts of things. Does that change things?
It does. That's the one big caveat to this research is the research that I spoke with at least seemed to suggest that human behavior could be a potentially significant factor here. How you choose to spend that fifth day or your extra time off work could really make a difference. For instance, if you take a 3-day weekend and you're traveling all the time now, obviously your carbon emissions would be a lot greater than if you were sort of maintaining your normal routine of going to work.
A permanent 3-day weekend sounds like a wonderful thing. I mean, obviously that would boost workers' morale, I would think.
That's what the research seems to suggest. And, in addition to morale, like I said, there's also that added benefit of, potentially being able to adopt healthier, more sustainable lifestyles. There's this idea that when people are time pressed and, working long hours, they tend to do things that are more carbon intensive or, maybe take less good care of themselves because they simply just don't have the time. And so, one theory is that if people had more time, they'd be more open or, willing to adopt some of these, sustainable, more healthy lifestyles.
I mean, all of this sounds great and good, but I think a lot of us watch and hear these stories all the time, and it sounds like an absolute pipe dream. I mean, are employers anywhere near considering this seriously? Because it sounds like something that would just never happen.
Yeah, what's really exciting is that there are, these sort of large-scale trials that have either, been completed or are in progress right now. One really big one is happening in the UK. So when we see those types of projects happening, it does seem to suggest that there is, interest, both on the employer and employee side to see if there's, something we can figure out here.
Allyson, I'm sure you took this data and forwarded your piece to your boss and said, hey, what do you think? 4-day work week?
Let's do it.
How'd that work?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's nice to see that there's more benefits than just, employee well-being, which is incredibly important. But to know that there's a potential for climate and environment impact I think is, something that should be factored into the conversation.
You make a very compelling case. Washington Post reporter Allyson Chiu, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.